Well, I've arrived at a place I haven't been for a while, and it snows pretty deep out here. I had trouble parking because it snows about 8 inches deep. My car doesn't have a lot of ground clearance, so I had to dig a hole pretty much to put it in. So this shows you, it's taken me, apologies for not starting the video earlier, but it's actually taken me about 15 minutes. I set myself a challenge because when I got here I noticed there was still a little bit of steam coming off one of these logs, and I'm like, there's a little bit of fire in there still. Obviously it's the steam coming off the log, it has to be heat. So I thought to myself, I wonder if I can recover that fire without using a fire steel or a match or anything else, just using the embers that were on that smouldering log. And it took a little bit of paper and a lot of patience, and I eventually blew that little ember back into a fire. So this just shows you the importance of making sure your fire is completely and utterly out. That was one log, that round log you can kind of see underneath all the sticks I just put under there. That one small round log, which was about 3 inch round, and it was smouldering, but I found enough of an ember in there with a couple of pieces of paper to actually blow it back into a fire. So it just shows you, you know, you leave one ember unattended out in the middle of nowhere, not this time of the year, because it ain't going to burn in that lot. I don't care. Whoever left the fire, I've absolutely no doubt it wasn't going to spread to anywhere. But it just shows you, if you're out camping somewhere and you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got an open fire, not in a container like this, and that one ember, tiny little ember, I kid you not, it was about as big as the end of my little finger, I managed to get that back into a fire. So this fire I got started courtesy of whoever had a fire yesterday, I suspect. It must have been last night, because there's a lot of footprints out around here, but there's no other vehicle sign around here at all. So yeah, just shows you, eh? Oh well. That was a challenge. I enjoyed the challenge, it was good. Yeah. Right, not been out here for a campfire for some time. The lake still, there's a lake in there, believe it or not. The lake still has a whole bunch of wet ice. I can see it's still got water on the surface, so I certainly wouldn't the hell walk across there. Once it's -30 out here, it's been -30 for a while, then yeah, you can wander out across there without too much trouble, because that ice ends up about 2 to 3 foot thick, so you can walk on that. Right, I have a whole bunch of wood with me, and I need to split some of this up and get some of these bigger bits on this fire, use that available heat, and then I will make some tea and some breakfast. Give you an idea of some of this snow. Yeah, this is what I was up against driving in here. So, oh, it's a little bit of a pain to drive on this crap. The trouble this time of the year, the ground hasn't really froze up. It's kind of winter, but kind of not. Once the ground freezes, somebody over there with a sled by the sound of it. See if anybody's used this fire pit. No, this one's full of fire. Yeah, the pond doesn't look overly frozen. Don't think I'd want to be going out on that. But, oh. See, in the winter, see this snow, it still makes holes. It's really crappy snow. You have to walk through this stuff. In the middle of winter, when it gets to -20, -30, you actually walk on the snow. It just sets up like concrete. But you can actually walk on top of the snow, which is so much easier to get about. It really is. I'm not a great fan of hiking this time of the year, because the ground hasn't froze up yet, the snow hasn't froze. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got a good fire going in there now. Oh, that's nice and warm. Woo-hoo, toasty. Yeah. I bought one of these big old logs with me. That's actually cedar, so it burns really well. It burns fairly fast, but it'll give me good embers, nice and quick. And I got a whole bunch more of these size log in the car. I got about 3 or 4 more of those in there. And a whole bunch of this little lighting wood. Yeah. Oh dear. Yes, well that was an interesting experiment. Get a fire going, an ember. Just shows you how it can happen though. If you leave a fire and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you just leave a fire, it can turn into a big problem real fast. So always make sure your fires are out. Whoever had that fire either last night or I can't think, it would have been early this morning because there's just not enough heat in the ground still. If they had a fire in there earlier this morning, there'd still be a lot of heat in the ground. There isn't. So that was a last night fire. Probably somebody out here, midnight, whatever. And yeah, they left it to go out, which is, it's not really too much of a problem in that fire container. But just shows you if he was out in the middle of nowhere. Piece that I cut for lighting escaped. I can get back in there. Yeah. So, just shows you how it can actually turn into a fire. It sounds like a sled or a plough going down the road there. They're blowing the snow off the road, I think, because that is an access road down behind me. About half a kilometre behind me there is a road that goes down through there. It's an access road for like oil and gas and what have you, so they like to keep that open. So. Oh yeah, that's defrosting now. Toasty, toasty, lovely. Look at that. Yeah, I've been here for a while. Not sure why I haven't done this one this summer. If I'd have got here about half hour earlier, then a beautiful sunrise. All these clouds up there, they were all bright orange and reds, and that was lovely. Yeah, it's nice driving in, but the roads look pretty much like this. They haven't been ploughed yet, so yeah. Oh well. That's good though. Yeah, nice to be out here. Get some heat going in there. I'll get a few more chunks of wood on there and get some decent heat, and then I'm going to make some breakfast. Well, campfire is going. This is a good start to the day, that's for absolutely certain. That big old chunk of wood that I got there, that's a big lump of cedar. That thing was about 2 foot round. It's a bloody great chunk of cedar. And I got a few more of those at home, but that axe is not big enough to split it right down the middle. But I keep chipping bits off it, and that's good. But sat out in the middle of nowhere, feet up in front of the fire. Yes, it's tea time. Gotta have it. Gotta do it. Can't come out somewhere like this without tea. I do have my kettle in the car, but I need to get a new can of hot chocolate because I'm out of hot chocolate. So when I go grocery shopping, I will pick one up. Oh, toasty warm. They've actually cemented these benches in place now, which is a bit of a pain in the rear end because in the middle of winter you do actually need to be a lot closer than there. But there we go. Tea time. Enjoy my tea. Feet in front of the fire. Doesn't get any better than that. And I have to say, that is an absolutely excellent made cup of tea. Just look at that. Just perfection. Absolute perfection in tea. Doesn't get any better. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, it feels nice as it goes down, I tell you. It's cold out here. It's -7 to -10. I'm not quite sure which. I think it said -10 when I left Calgary, but yeah, here I believe it was going to be -7 this morning. So whichever, we'll take it as is. That's certainly good. We'll take that. Yeah. Oh, you can actually feel it going down inside. That is super nice. Look at that though. They said it was going to be cloudy with possible flurries today. Where I was going to go was about another 20 kilometres down this road. But to get there I got to go up and over two very, very steep mountains. And this time of the year, Rainy Ridge, this time of the year can be a little bit hit and miss. I have actually skied down there in my car before now. So they don't exactly plough that road. They do plough it, but they don't put a lot of salt and crap on the road because of all the wildlife. But I have actually skied down that road before now and come down there literally in first gear at 20 kilometres an hour all the way down the mountain road. And that's a very uncomfortable feeling until you get to the bottom, because you can't touch the brakes. You touch the brakes, you're in the ditch. Simple as that. But that is a very interesting road to drive on when it's hard packed, glazed, icy snow. So I chose here instead, way closer and somewhere I've not been all summer. So Oh, not for a campfire anyway. Yeah. Very nice. And that was a very good cup of tea. I've got a couple of little oranges with me today, so I've been trying to eat those up. I bought a bloody great bag full of those the other day, and it's the same as every time you buy those damn things, you end up throwing half of them away because they just go off. So I've been eating them like crazy. So. Right, I shall chuck another little chunk of wood on there, get some heat going, and I'm going to make some breakfast. Now this is how you make breakfast. Couple of sausages. This wood burns through really fast. It gives off a lot of heat. God, does it burn fast. Which is not always a good thing. Oh yeah, it's starting to toast up. A little bit too quick actually. Yeah. I know a lot of people when they do videos and that, they bring out frying pans, cutting up onions and cooking steak and all that other good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's what they like to do. That's great. But to me, I want food I can cook on a fire pretty quick. Yes, it tastes nice and all the rest of it. Cooking bacon on the fire, but unfortunately in the forest, the smell of cooking bacon travels for a very, very long way. And, anybody who likes bacon can verify that. But I tell you now, cooking bacon out in the middle of nowhere, not a good idea. Attracts a lot of attention that you may not want. Right, let's. Oh yeah, that's actually a little bit too well done. I'm going to have those off of there. Put those on the Dave plate, aka leg. Yeah. Roll these around a touch. The other good thing about these is they don't take very long to heat through, especially the amount of heat coming off of there. Like I say, this cedar, it doesn't burn for long, but God, it burns hot, and that's good. I'm just going to put that one back on that corner. Put that. Where am I going to put that? Let me put that over here somewhere. There we go. We'll switch up on there. I can concentrate on making my breakfast as opposed to burning it. Woo! That is hot. There we go. I'm actually quite impressed with getting that fire going. Just one little tiny ember. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I wish I got some of the bigger buns, but last couple of weeks I've been, they haven't had them. smoke dissipate for a minute. Surprised there's no squirrels. When I walked down through, there was a deer just over here when I got here this morning. Oh, that is good. Ooh, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Somebody made a good job of digging out the snow. It's very important this time of the year to make sure the snow's kept away from the fire, because what'll happen is you end up with this icy ramp that goes down to the fire otherwise. It makes it very difficult. Right, we turn that off for a bit. I'll do some more later. Well, that log's almost getting down to the size where I can just chuck it right in there. So I just smashed off another few pieces off the side. Had a little hatchet I got. It's good for chipping off the sides of logs like that, but it's no good for splitting them in half. Yeah. Oh, glorious day. Yeah. Look at that over there. Lovely blue sky over there. Fair amount of snow considering it's just this time of the year. It's probably, 8 inches to a foot of snow in there already. Yeah. I know we've had some and some has melted, but it's... Oh, that's good. Back to another cup of tea. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Very important to have good tea. Yesterday was Remembrance Day. I was downtown with a few people around, but I didn't stay for the actual ceremony. Now I just went down, said my bit and left. I don't like the huge crowds. I'm not a great huge crowd person, but it's come out to somewhere like this. Sit and remember. A lot of good memories here. Yeah, this is a good spot for good memories. That is for sure. Yeah. Oh. So I'm going to sit down. This bench is just too far away for the middle of winter. In the middle of summer, this is about the right distance, but in the middle of winter, you need to be you only want to be about 3 feet away from that fire. If it's minus 20, you don't want to be any more than about 3 feet away from that fire. Sat here, you'd be cold. Yeah, you wouldn't think that distance, we're only talking of an additional 3 feet, but yeah, it makes a difference, I can tell you. Yeah, so you got 3 feet to the fire, or 2 feet to the fire, and just mix it up. I'm gonna have tea in my other hand. Yay! Like I say, I really do need to get some more hot chocolate. I have run out. It's pain, but oh yeah, I must admit, being a Saturday, I thought there might be some more people out and around here, but it is early o'clock. It was still, wasn't quite, I guess sun was coming up, so it's probably about 7:30 when I got here. I guess the sky was starting to lighten up, but I think sunrise this time of the year is about 8 o'clock, something like that. I don't know, somewhere around there. Yeah. Underneath all that ice over there will be some busy beavers. There's beavers over the other side of there. Yeah. Like I say, you can walk across there in winter. I certainly wouldn't try it this time of the year. Look at that for a nice sky though. Yeah, I'll take that. That's why I like living here. It's cold, but it's dry. I'm not in the slightest bit damp. Not at all. Like I say, it's about minus 10. I do have my coat on, but I don't know my coat done up. Don't really need it done up. It's not that cold yet. When it's minus 20 and you can't feel your fingers, yeah, trust me, that's difficult. I have stood right there in minus 20, minus 25, trying to do a zip up on my coat with numb fingers. I can tell you that is a very interesting exercise. Right, I'm going to see if I can split a few more bits off this big chunk of wood, and if not, it's going in the fire. Well, I tried, but it didn't want to play the game. That little hatchet I got, like I say, it's great for splitting up small stuff, and it's always a good idea to have some kind of axe or hatchet with you when you're out in the middle of nowhere. I beat the crap out of it, hence all the sawdust. But it wouldn't go, so it can go in one piece. This stuff burns fast. Like I say, this is cedar. It burns really fast. It crackles a little bit when it first gets going, but look at that. She's starting to go already. Yeah, that's going to burn hot and fast. Yeah, it's not good home burning wood, that's for sure. You'd be forever stoking the fire up if you're using that stuff. For out somewhere like this, absolutely perfect. Yeah. There is a 6-inch round of pine in the bottom of there. That'll take a lot longer to burn, but we don't have really good, decent hardwood around here, you know, like oaks and all that kind of stuff. We don't really have too much of that. And, that stuff's pretty hard to find. But you want a long-lasting fire. You want nice dense wood, like a nice dry oak. You've got oak that's been drying for a couple of years. Oh, that's good. That stuff burns off and gives huge amounts of heat. Look at that. That bloody great log's away already. You'll be surprised how quickly that'll burn through. I'll keep an eye on it, and then I'll do some in a bit. But other than that, I am just going to enjoy this day. That is super nice. Love that sky. That is just a really nice sky. Oh, she's still burning pretty good. That big log I put in there, as you can see, that's kicking up some heat now. About 3 feet away from this fire is nice and warm. 6 feet away from this fire is actually getting cold. So oh, some nice breakfast there. That's good. I'll have that. Nice way to start the day. I've only seen 2 other vehicles, none of which have come down this way. But there is another road off through the trees in front of me there that goes off down the middle of nowhere. But that's a bit snowy this time of the year for my little car. So you get down in there, you could suddenly find yourself in a foot of snow. Not a good plan, especially on a road that's not travelled very well. How much that flares up. That's that chunk of cedar I put in there. Yeah, burns good, eh? Burns very hot. Gives off huge amounts of heat, but not for a great deal of time. So nice for a warm up, but not much good for a long fire. Got to be a good way to spend the day though. Out here, sitting on my own, sitting on a bench in the middle of nowhere. Nice big fire. Yeah, that's a warm fire too. That's a day fire. There we go. Now she's going. Something to be said, you know, for sitting around a campfire and just enjoying it. I don't know why more people don't do it. It's such a relaxing thing to do. It really is. People rush off and have to be entertained all the time doing stuff, and they think if they're not being entertained 365 days a year, then there's something wrong. But to come out and just do this, it's actually very relaxing. Gives your mind plenty of time to think and settle things and sort stuff. And yeah, it's great. It's an unwind. It's like a recharge your batteries. And a campfire in the middle of nowhere for me is a really good way of recharging batteries, that's for sure. Oh yeah, that is definitely warming up now. That is good. Sky stayed good. I did think it might cloud over, but that has stayed good. Look at that. If that sun gets higher, actually, that might even break up a bit more. No, that's some good cloud, eh? I like that cloud. That'll do for a good picture there.